It's 9 after the hour 6 on the Mighty Metro FM. Thank you so much to the touchdown. They do it again tomorrow between 3 and 6. Tomorrow's a Friday. Oh, is tomorrow Friday or Thursday? Tomorrow's Thursday, yeah? Hey, you know, this Monday being a public holiday. Tomorrow's Thursday. Yes, tomorrow's Thursday. So they're back again tomorrow between 3 and 6. Do catch them again. When is TRL? It's TRL only on Mondays. Hey, I enjoy that thing, man, eh? I enjoy that thing. So you can watch out for innovative radio like you've never heard it anywhere else, right here on the Mighty Metro FM. This is Sports Out Amplified with Andile. I am Andile Ncube. And, I mean, a little bit earlier, I was speaking about the story that we've been carrying for literally the last 2 weeks. We put a conclusion to it. We put a finality to it yesterday. And then out in Libya, they go and they listen to the show from yesterday when they find it on the podcast on metrofm.co.za. And they say, no, man, listen, we are unhappy with the lies that have been peddled in South Africa. And we want a right of reply. And I'm like, no, man, I've watched a match of tennis where the ball doesn't go out. You know, it's just doom, 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 doom. Imagine that for an hour. No, then it's a he said, she said battle. So to me, I'm not too sure about that one. But a story that we did touch on that we would love some sort of conclusion, finality in. A couple of months ago, we speak to Mr. Mdaka, who's a team owner in the Women's League in South Africa, which is exclusive to SABC Sport, by the way. You can catch it every single Sunday when those games are being played and televised. And he spoke things that you and I would go and get our sisters out of. You know, this is a professional league in South Africa. Not professional because of the payments, but professional because of the setup. These young girls that you watch week in, week out on television sometimes sleep in shady hotels that are either neighboring or bordering brothels or nightclubs where there's all sorts of things that happen overnight. They only eat once a day or twice a day when there's money, and they skip meals, and the meals they eat is like bread and beans or bread and chips. The rest of the time, they're sitting there holding their breath because the owners just don't have the money to pay for it. We had that show here. We spoke at length about it. And the next day, they said, hey, Andile, we've been paid. We've got our money. But what's since happened in that story? We'll touch on that. Plus, the Champions League football today, so you can look forward to that. There are games in the DStv Premiership, so there's a lot going on this Wednesday, 11 after the hour 6. Let's take a break. When we come back on the other side, remember, 6:45, that's when you come on. I've got a bone. I've got something that's heavy in my chest. I'd like to know, how do you feel about the way that your team communicates with you?
2023 is the year that keeps on flexing with the Caltex Big Flex promotion. Stand a chance to win one of 10 Fuel for a Year vouchers by filling up with 400 Rand or more at any Caltex forecourt. Win your share of Fuel for a Year and hit the road anytime you want. Thrive while you drive with Caltex Big Flex. Promotion runs until 17 May. T's and C's apply. Caltex, it's how you get there.
Dondol Stars, Bari, Chabarifete, the giant killers of this Nedbank Cup. They eliminated Matsatsansa, Pitori and Usutu. But Orlando Pirates says their minds are already in the semis. This is Ibola Letu, Mamelodi or Orlando. Be part of the Nedbank Cup quarterfinal clash. Dondol Stars confronts Orlando Pirates on Saturday, 15 April at 2:30 p.m. Live on SABC 1 and SABC radio stations. Hashtag We Love It Here. Brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
Share all the sporting thrills with Betway. Visit betway.co.za. Bet your way with Betway.
Champions League makes a return tonight. It's Benfica versus Inter Milan. It's Manchester City and Bayern Munich. And there's still more tomorrow. Check out all the best odds at Betway. That's yesterday's matches. But nonetheless, I'll tell you about today's matches in a few.
Bet on your favorite teams and leagues online, anytime and anywhere with Betway. Visit betway.co.za.
It's 14 after the hour 6. Let's take a look at the Champions League matches from yesterday. Benfica beaten by Inter 2-0 is how that match ended there. And it was great to see Lukaku on the score sheet. Another penalty, especially after what we saw happen over the weekend with the racial attacks that he's had to suffer. Manchester City beating Bayern Munich 3-0. What a game that is. I mean, a flattering scoreline for Man City and a good result for them, but what a game that was. If you want to comment on that game, please do call us on 086 000 2160. Rodri with a stunner of a goal, that first goal in the 27th minute. Then it was Silva and Haaland scoring, a groundbreaking goal, isn't he? He's just a machine at the moment. So that was the scores from yesterday. There are games today as well, and those games are AC Milan and Napoli. And then, of course, there's Real Madrid as well as Chelsea. Let's hear now from Ben, who we spoke to yesterday, about the preview of these two games.
That's it. And on the one hand, it's a free hit for Chelsea, but on the other hand, a club like Chelsea should never be going into the Champions League at this stage and calling it a free hit. But unlike Manchester City Bayern, which feels quite evenly matched, even though Manchester City are the favourites in that one, I think that Chelsea are heavy underdogs, and their first task will be to ensure that they keep the tie tight in Madrid and give themselves a chance at Stamford Bridge. And even though with a new manager we associate a boost, it's going to be very difficult for Frank Lampard to come in and beat an experienced manager like Carlo Ancelotti. And Real Madrid, as they showed against Liverpool, even though, as you rightly say, La Liga hasn't gone according to plan for them, can just have these explosive periods of play where they can kill teams off very quickly. So on the one hand, Chelsea will look at the first 20 minutes or so in the first leg against Liverpool and say there might be an opportunity here to do some damage, and then if we defend well, we're in the tie. But on the other hand, you look at the rest of that first leg against Liverpool and see how quickly Real Madrid can score not just once but in numbers and put the tie away from you. And then when you look at Chelsea's lack of goals, there's a lot of things that are going to go Chelsea's way if they are to progress and cause an upset. So what I think from Chelsea's point of view may give them hope is just the fact that everyone's writing them off. And there has to be a time, surely, for Chelsea where finally these countless chances that they are still creating in games go in the back of the net. But they're coming off the back now of a loss against Aston Villa, of a draw against Liverpool, and a loss against Wolves, all of which they had different managers in, and all of which they failed to do one thing, a common pattern for Chelsea this season, which is score a goal. So to expect them, therefore, to go away at the Bernabeu in the first leg and change that pattern is a massive, massive ask.
17 after the hour 6. Those are the games that you can look forward to this evening. Let's have a conversation about the Champions League, of course. So you're more than welcome to send us a voice note or to give us a shout. 1845 rather, it's 6:45 is when you take your calls. Because I want to know from you, and this is a conversation we'll have then. How do you feel about the way that your team communicates with you? You know, they say that football, and this is the chairman of the league that says that football is a reflection of society. And when you listen to all the radio stations and you listen to all the interviews and you hear all the coaches and you hear all the dignitaries and chairmen, presidents, denying very obvious truths. I'll give you an example. When you say to someone, hey, we hear you're signing this player in talks with this player, and everybody denies it, and 2 days later you see that player at that very same team training. I wonder, what is it about the fabric of what we've sown into football that says we aren't allowed to just be honest? When you ask teams about, financial woes, because you already know from players who are complaining, you already know from creditors who are complaining. Would it hurt if a chairman ever came here? How would you feel about your team if a chairman came here and said, hey, listen, there's no money right now. We're trying. You know how it is in the DStv Premiership with getting sponsorships. There's just no money right now. But we're hoping that by the end of this month, we'll have this much money. We're doing this and this to have that much money. Hopefully, we'll have this problem sorted. Is that such a... Maybe I don't own a multi-million rand team to understand the difficulties in just speaking the truth. And saying, no, it's not like this. It's actually like this, and we're working on it. Nope, this coach we fired because of this. No, this coach, we're in talks with him, but it didn't work out. maybe I don't understand. Perhaps you can assist me in that regard. It's 19 after the hour 6. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Philemon Mdaka is going to be joining us on the line.
The Metro FM Music Awards 2023. Black is back. The nominees for Best Female Artist are Nomfundo Mo, Makadzi, Simi, Brenda Mdamo, Hle. To vote, dial *120 *45787 hash. USSD rates charged at R1.50 per minute. The Metro FM Music Awards 2023. Brought to you by the Mpumalanga Provincial Government. Visit and explore Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Metro FM, it's where you're at.
Checker 6060 is here to help you save. We'll beat the price war, help you save more. Let's go 6060. Same in-store prices, no surprises. Let's go 6060. Extra savings, deals on your cravings. Let's go 6060. Everything in store, delivered to your door. Let's go 6060. Save time, money, and fuel. Just 6060 it. Let's go 6060.
Win your share of 200,000 Rand with Auto Pedigree when you buy a 2021 Kia Picanto 1-litre Street or a 2019 BMW 320i before 31 May 2023. You get up to 50,000 Rand deal assistance to structure your winning deal. Winners will be announced on the 9th of June 2023. Visit autopedigree.co.za or any of our branches countrywide for more information. Auto Pedigree, because you deserve a great deal. T's and C's apply. Double tickets to the semi-final of the Nedbank Cup is an impossible dream between two giants. The Chili Boys want a single ticket for themselves, but Babinanoko refuse to surrender. This is Ibola Letu, Eastern Cape or Limpopo. Be part of the Nedbank Cup quarter-final contest. Chipa United clashes with Sikukune United on Sunday, 16 April at 2:30 p.m. Live on SABC1 and SABC radio stations. Hashtag We Love It Here. Brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
The Metro FM Music Award tickets are now available at CompuTicket and all CompuTicket outlets. Get yours now and be there to experience South Africa's biggest awards ceremony at Mbombela Stadium on the 6th of May. Tickets start from 150 rands. The Metro FM Music Awards 2023. Brought to you by the Mpumalanga Provincial Government. Visit and explore Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. MMA 23. Black is back.
This is Sport Night Amplified with Andile.
Marumo Gallants Football Club staff members Rufus Matsena and Tebogo Amos Dlomo are home. Rufus does join us now. We did speak to him once, of course, when he was in his hotel room, and many of you, so many of you, I don't think we've ever received voice notes as much as we did after we spoke to Rufus, with many of you saying they need to come home. You know, we extended that conversation to Deco. We spoke to Safa. We put all the pressure we could on all the parties in order to make sure that we have them here.
You know, let me thank even your listeners. In particular, I want to, pour my heart out to you guys. Your efforts. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. I even beginning to be emotional. But we are grateful, actually, myself and Tebogo. We're very grateful. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
This is Sport Night Amplified, powered by SABC Sport. Let's go.
It's 23 after the hour 6 on the mighty Metro FM. Remember that Black is back with the Metro FM Music Awards 23. Ticket sales start from 150 rands at CompuTicket. Go get yours now. Can't wait for it. Mpumalanga Metro is coming your way. Remember to go get your tickets so you can join us and join in on the festivities. Philemon Mdaka is on the line. He's going to be talking to us. But before we even go to speak to him, let's revisit this thing. Because you remember, a couple of months ago, we sent out the plight to say, hey, women's football, if the owner of the team has to go buy you sanitary towels, then it's a problem. Have a listen to our conversation then. And when you buy them food, what are you buying them?
Well, we had to look for something cheap. We had to buy something like, snacks, KFC. That is the much. That's what we can afford, about 800 Rand. And then, our kids like heavy food, not this. But I can't afford to buy them meat. I can't afford to buy them that. In the morning, you have to buy them bread. That's breakfast. So wherever we're staying, we can't afford to have breakfast. And then we have to then buy bread and then some palonis and then some juice. And that's what they eat in the morning because you can't afford a proper meal. Then you jump one meal. You jump the lunch. And then they go and play. Just buy them bananas.
And you know the demands on the professional athletes and their diet.
Yes,
and yet we're speaking here about them jumping meals. These are
Yes.
players that are playing in South African women's, let's say, semi-professional league. Some of
Yes.
them student, haven't made it home.
Yeah.
They're not being paid. They sleep.
Yeah.
Where they sleep, I mean, if you can't afford them to get home because you can't afford transport, then I wonder about the place where they're actually staying.
Because that is the truth anyway. Unfortunately, is the truth, and the truth sometimes will be told. So, but that is the money that we get for per person, and then per night. And then, so right now they're staying 3 nights. I can't afford to then. So sometimes we put them in a very, 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 filthy areas because, I mean,
And these are young women
places.
also. These are young
Yes,
women.
yeah. The other time I went to East London, where to put them in a place because it was cheap, but only to find out behind there was the whole night there was a lodge there. Disco, some sort of making noise. So you are going to play tomorrow, but you can't sleep because that is the cheapest you can get. So sometimes we can't go to Garden Court. We can't go there. Can't afford.
That's the voice of Philemon Mdaka, who now joins us on the line. Of course, that conversation was a couple of months ago when we were putting a spotlight on women's football and the league, as it were, to see, these things that they're complaining about. How bad is it really when you put a spotlight on it? And he came on to let us know how it is that it's going with his team in particular. And that's how it went down. He joins us now on the line, Philemon Mdaka. Chairman?
Hello. Good evening to the listeners as well. Thank you.
Oh man, it's been a while. We're hoping that things have gotten better and the team is doing, much better. How is the team? How are the girls doing at the moment?
Oh well, we're trying hard. I think it's better than last time, but in terms of performance, we're still struggling a bit because we have lost some few players to big teams. As you know, in football, it's the size of your pocket that counts.
And at the moment, the size of yours is struggling a little bit.
Well, I'm glad that the SAFA is really very consistent in terms of giving us money on a monthly basis. They are paying us on time, and then we're able to plan, and then at least we know when are we going to receive our money, and in that regard, then we are able to then plan accordingly, and at least we were able to book accommodation in advance and all those type of things. So at least now, in terms of administration, things are going very well.
And so that means it's improved. The girls are eating 3 times a day. They're staying in better places. We've seen a gross improvement in that then. Is that what I can assume?
Yes, it is better than before. Definitely it's better than before because at least now if you plan well in advance, you're able to also get cheaper, transport. You can actually negotiate for discounts. You can, send a forward team to make sure that you get a better place to sleep. I think we have learned a lot now. We also know the places where we go. So we are better than before. At least they are able to then get meals, not necessarily jump meals like before. So we are able to have breakfast. We are able to have a pre-match meal. And also after the game, we are able to also provide meals. But obviously, it can be, steak and big kind of, meals, but at least it's better than before. That's one thing.
So before you're eating bread, chips, and every now and then KFC. What are you eating now? What are you eating now, Mr. Mdaka?
No, now we can take them to, they can get burgers in the morning, so that's better. If you get a burger in the morning, whether it's a McDonald's or whatever, it's better than just bread, So I think, with your intervention, we're able also to get other people talking to us and offering this and that. At the moment, I'm also getting calls for people who want to buy my team and also those who want to really give us a sponsor. I was supposed to have met another sponsor last
last month on the 21st. Unfortunately, I couldn't meet the director of the company, but I believe that that sponsor is still on hold. We are still waiting to meet with them, and it will relieve us a lot because we will still be running the team, but then they will then be taking most of the cost of the team.
If somebody did come offer you to buy the team, would you sell?
Look, depending on the offer, as long as they will keep the standard, because what we want to see, like you have said, football is the reflection of society. Unfortunately, the South African society is not investing more on the majority of the sport that the people love. We are seeing people investing in other sporting activities. We're not saying they're not important, but the majority of the people are not following that type of sport. And then these are the type of sport that get a lot of money. And I don't want to mention any type of sport, but football,
cricket,
where
rugby.
Oh, exactly. They get a lot of money, including from, I don't know, big business and it looks like everybody's following, including the government. They might be following. So our understanding is that football is played everywhere.
Let me get in there. I think I know what you're talking about. We saw the Deputy Minister of Sport, of course, just a couple of weeks ago, giving the cricket ladies some money, a couple of millions because of what they've done. Is that what you're talking about? Are you saying that government should be doing the same for football?
Exactly. We don't just want few millions. We need a lot of millions because in each and every street in the country, young people are playing football, girls and boys nowadays. So this is the area we need to go. Right now, as I speak to you, Wanyana would represent the country in Australia and in a World Cup. And these teams that are playing in Hollywood Bat, that is the only official sponsor that's actually sponsoring women football in the country. And if government can also, channel a lot of money towards the development of football in the country, that will assist in making sure that we maintain the standard. But some other teams managed to really win, CAF, like Mamelodi Sundowns. Of course, the Mamelodi Sundowns, they have a good sponsor. The owner is a billionaire, but some of us as chairman, we don't have such money, and we struggle and we put everything we have to football. And if government can then in one way or another, concentrate on sponsoring, a sport that is actually followed by the majority of the people in the country, and that can assist a lot and take the girls and boys away from the street, away from drinking at a young age. That will improve even our performance in schools and so on. If
you are to sell, we heard the other day, what was it, 12 million that a first-tier team is selling. That's in the championship, which is the NFD, so to speak. So if you are to sell in the Women's League, how much does that go for?
Well, it's just 2 million. It's just 2 million, and that will go to either Mamelodi Sundowns. All the time it was going to Mamelodi Sundowns. The first time now that we see UWC, we say
in terms of sorry, Mr. Mdaka, maybe you misunderstood me. In terms of selling the team, if you are to sell the team, we know that there's DStv Premiership teams that are looking to get women's sides as well. If you are to sell the team, how much do you sell a status for in the women's football of South Africa?
Oh, you mean the status to sell it? Well, I would have loved to sell the team at around 5 million rand, and nothing below 3.5 million or 3 million rand, and that is the price that one can give. Because at the moment, to run the team, you must have at least 2.5 million, and of course, we're getting a subsidy from SAFA, which is not covering everything. So it is quite difficult indeed to sell a team below 2.5 million.
So 3 million would be the bottom bar for you?
Yeah, 3 million would be the bottom bar. Yeah.
But you're looking for 5 million?
Yes. If I get 5 million, I can be able to sell it.
At the moment, you're going to need to fight hard because you're sitting second from the bottom in order to keep the value of the team.
It has never been like this before for my Indies, but we give best to other teams. So I've lost a lot of players to another team that is forming, it's a businessman that has money, and then he tried to promise my players that he's going to pay them from my province, and then he took my management as well. Then he went away with a lot of my players. So I'm not worried about that because my Indies has always been giving best to other teams. Many teams come.
I can only think of one team in your province.
we are having 3 teams. Most of these teams, most of the players, it's either one way or another way identified by my indies. And then some of these players, they played for my indies or,
Well, I'm talking about the new team that's been formed. You're talking about TS Galaxy?
Not only TS Galaxy, there's a team that is joining. Yes, TS Galaxy also have players from my indies. Some of my midfielders who are also playing very well, scoring for us, have gone to TS Galaxy. But then there's another team that was formed specifically by my indies players. That's why we're actually at the low level of the league log. But we're not worried because we're always in the top 8, and we've always been in the top 4 in the past. But for the past few years, we've always been in the top 8. So we'll try and fight back to top 8 position. There is a team that is gonna register or it's already registered at Social League here in the province with the aim of gaining promotion next season. And they've taken almost half of my indies players, and that's why we have to struggle to rebuild the team from players from a lower level league like regional leagues and social leagues, and then at least we're happy that we managed to register our first win last weekend.
I know. I wish you the very best of luck, man. We were doing a check-in, and I'm glad to hear that the girls are eating 3 times a day. I'm glad to hear that the girls are staying in better places. Now what we can only do is just improve what they're eating. Yeah, because the burger, man, and then we lo dlala bolo. McDonald's, then we are go fielding for breakfast. For sure, man, Mr. Mdaka.
They have fruits, they have all sorts of things. We don't also want them to be heavy before the game. So after the game, they eat good, food.
Because after burger, on your korobala, man.
No, after that, because if they eat before the game, they won't run. So that's another technique of football. You have to make sure that they're not heavy.
I mean, you became a father to these girls. You were buying sanitary towels for them. You're doing all sorts of things. Are you able to give?
We're taking them to school. Today, I'm very happy to announce that 2 of my players are joining the South African Police Service to work there full time. We also make sure that they have a future. We guide them, we give them counseling, we do all sorts of things. We are a jack of all trades. We try and offer some kind of parental care and make sure that they have everything they need. So I'm happy that in my indies we produce more than 10 players that are driving their own cars now, and they're working for themselves. So that's another long-term goal that we have, to make sure that we make them better people, because football you only play for a shorter period, but then you must be able to live beyond football.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much Mr. Falaza Philemon Mdaka, who's joining us from My Indies. Of course, he is the chairperson of My Indies Ladies. They play their football in the professional league here in South Africa. That's professional, semi-professional, because, of course, of payments. We heard the players that have come here to say, hey, we don't earn, we earn whatever the team that can give us. And with Mr. Mdaka, there was a little bit different as well in terms of having to pay the players. But it's good to know that there is a little bit of an improvement since our trying to get a resolve for that. So I'm happy for the girls. And the reason we did that story is because one of them called and said, hey, I'm full, man. I ate 3 times a day. Imagine when that's a privilege and just not a norm. Let's take a break.
We gon' get them. Get connected. Yeah. Call now. 0860-002-160. This is Sport Night Amplified with Andile.
Marumo Gallants Football Club staff members Rufus Matsena and Tebogo Amos Dlomo are home. Rufus does join us. Dr. Ali, the owner of the hotel, when he came here, he said you have the biggest suite in the hotel, eating at the buffet. He said all these amazing things about your stay there.
Us getting meals as he proclaims, it's not true. Andile, if you can see me before Bengazi and look at me now, I've lost so much weight because of the treatment was not nice. A very serious mental torture. And say to people, I'm looking after these guys.
Did you fear for your life at any point?
Exactly. We did.
Dr. Abram Silla, chairman of Marumo Gallants, that joins us. Dr. Abram, at some points, do you sit back and think, more, I was just conned?
Yeah, you feel that. It was a very difficult situation.
This is Sport Night Amplified, powered by SABC Sport. Let's go.
R3.5mil Music Awards 2023. Black is back. Share the Jägermeister, share the love, share the Amapiano. The best Amapiano artist is brought to you by Jägermeister. The nominees for Best Amapiano Artist are Deep London and Buhle. Hamba wena. Gaba Canal featuring George Leslie and Russell Zuma. Hila Nhlizio Yam. Gabsida Small featuring Msaki, Kusela. Daliwonga featuring Mello and Sleazy and MJ, Abomvelo. Wanitwamos featuring Master KG, Lo Sheen and Nkosazana Daughter, Sofa Slahlane. To vote, dial *120 *45787 hash. USSD rates charged at R1.50 per minute. The Metro FM Music Awards Best Amapiano Artist brought to you by Jägermeister. Metro FM is where you're at. Not for sales to persons under the age of 18.
EFC is live this Thursday. In 2022, the DRC's Zico Makengele shocked the world to take the EFC welterweight title by knocking out the favorite Martin van Staden. Now, almost a year to the day later, he defends it for the very first time against the equally dangerous and skilled veteran Mark Hume. EFC 102 live this Thursday. Watch it on SABC Sport Channel on OpenView 124 from 7 p.m. Brought to you by SABC Sport.
At work, at play, online and on the air.
Watch out!
Check us out at Metro FM SA on all the socials. Metro FM, it's where you're at. This is the touchdown.
We need to document this, Playboy.
With Tebow Touch.
We're about to go live with somebody special, and I have the Kokonolo. Good afternoon. How you doing, my darling?
I have a request, actually.
Okay, let's hear your request.
On Thursday, it's my birthday, and I'm turning 18, right?
You turning 18?
I request to come to the show and just to co-host, if you guys don't mind. This is like an important moment for me. I started listening to the touchdown like last year, December. Ever since, my life has never been the same, you know?
Okay. Metro. Tebow Touch. The touchdown on Metro FM.
Yeah, we gon' get them.
Get connected.
Yeah.
Call now. 0860-002-160.
Yeah, we gon' get them.
Get connected. WhatsApp the Metro FM studio. 060-552-7303.
And of course, if you're on a WhatsApp, it's 060-552-7303. A lot to talk about. Champions League last night. Is the tie over? Is it over? 3-0 Manchester City. Is it over? Or can Bayern at home come back from 3-0? We've seen more heroic comebacks in the Champions League. But do Bayern, from what you saw, I mean, you saw Sané. You saw him when he was a little bit lit. Is it possible that they can come back from that 3-0? And of course, there's games to look forward to this evening as well. Some big games too, particularly that Chelsea-Real Madrid game there. What do you make of what's going on there? We spoke to Ben Jacobs yesterday. He said, hey, it should be that it's a Real Madrid game and you don't have to think about it. But you do know Champions League is a different animal altogether. The fact that you're not doing well in the league with both teams, to be honest, not doing their best at the moment. What could happen there? It's about that time, 6:43, which means we open up the lines to you to speak about all things from, yesterday's conversation. So many of you saying how, you ripped us off of our rights of reply because it just became such a huge thing with the interviews that we'd done, and you guys would have loved to have your point on it. So today is an opportunity to do exactly that. You can reply, you can respond to it, you can give us a call. Of course, we'll talk about all things Champions League as well, but mostly, if you're a Sundowns fan, are you happy with the way that your team communicates with you? If you're a Chippa United fan, are you happy with their website? Are you happy with their Twitter? Are you happy with the information that's been disseminated to you? The way that they communicate to you? Are you happy with how the information is coming to you? All the teams, TS Galaxy, are you happy with how they talk to you? Solas Football Club, if that's who you support. The communication that's coming when the coach left, are you happy with the communication that was tabled to you? Do you deserve any more than what you're getting? Or are you getting what you should be getting anyway? That's just the standard. That's what it is. You should be getting the bare minimum of information. Yours is to support the team holistically. I'd love to know. I really would. Because it becomes difficult for us here getting that information out and wondering, are you happy with what is being said? When you listen to the interviews and you listen to what's not being said, what's being kept confidential, what is being twisted really. 060-552-7303, and it is 6:45 on the dot. It's around that time when we do take your calls on 086-000-2160 after this.
We gon' get connected. WhatsApp the Metro FM studio. 060-552-7303.
Dondol Stars, Bari, Chabarifete, the giant killers of this Nedbank Cup. They eliminated Matsatsansa, Pitori and Usutu. But Orlando Pirates says their minds are already in the semis. This is Ibola Letu, Mamelodi or Orlando. Be part of the Nedbank Cup quarterfinal clash. Dondol Stars confronts Orlando Pirates on Saturday, 15 April at 2:30 p.m. Live on SABC 1 and SABC radio stations. Hashtag We Love It Here. Brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
Tabo, we need a printer for Sarah's school homework.
I need one for my office as well.
Sarah's teacher suggested HP Smart Tank. It comes with ink that will last for long, maybe up to 3 years, and no more hassle of cartridges. Refilling will now be easy with simple ink bottles. She also said it comes with 3 years of warranty. You can even print from your smartphone using a mobile app. Such peace of mind.
Wow, let's get it today. Print, do, save more with HP Smart Tank.
Truth be told, the Hollywood Bet Super League rocks. It's double-header action on Sunday, 15 April at 11 a.m. University of Pretoria's top agenda is to grab 3 points and move up the log standings. But Coal City Wizards have a plan to stop the varsity ladies. Then at 3 p.m., Tshwane University of Technology are looking for a distinction against Durban ladies. Meanwhile, the Queens from eThekwini are in the capital city to steal the show. The Hollywood Bet Super League doubleheader at 11 a.m. University of Pretoria versus Coal City Wizards. And Tshwane University of Technology battles it out with Durban ladies. Catch both matches live on SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4, OpenView 124, also available on sabcsport.com and SABC Plus. Hashtag We Love It Here, brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
This is Sport Night Amplified with Andile.
Marumo Gallants Football Club staff members Rufus Matsena and Tebogo Amos Dlomo. Rufus just joined us. Was there a point where you felt Wabonamo Akishore Kausani?
Most definitely, because there's a point where the guy himself took us out with the car. We went to some very awkward places where he met some guys there. They started talking. Every time they talk, they look at the car.
Yo.
When you get to the hotel, he says, yeah, you know, you guys are lucky I'm not a cruel somebody like people here in Libya.
No.
I would understand if we were left behind as a collateral, but we were not a collateral. We were left behind because there was a problem of depositing money into his account.
Dr. Abramson, chairman of Marumo Gallants, joins us.
You can't swipe, you can't transact. The only way is to pay hard cash.
He says, no, I want my money in cash, and that's how they operate in Libya.
This is Sport Night Amplified, powered by SABC Sport. Let's go.
We gon'
Get connected. WhatsApp the Metro FM studio. 060-552-7303.
Evening, Miss Andile. Yes, Pershawn Dusange from Dival. Yeah. What a guest you had in the name of Philemon Mdaka, doing a lot for women football. And yeah, his price is quite right price. Yeah, for, women's football, it's most difficult to the boys. It's difficult to train girls. Yeah, it's something that we need to learn as a country. Yeah, I appreciate a lot his work. Big up, Joshua.
Good evening, Andile. Regarding yesterday's UEFA Champions League game between Manchester City and Bayern, I think Pep Guardiola, this is his last chance to win the UEFA Champions League for Manchester City. If they just can keep up that performance that they put up yesterday, but they only started to play in second half. I thought by first half it was a 50-50 game. It's Mkoyani Malume, Mkopane, Amadi.
Andile, evening, my brother. April in Krugersdorp. What a game between Bayern and Manchester City.
Quality
but,
game.
But people, yeah, they can say it's over, but we can't wait for next week. It's going to be a very, very, very interesting game. You remember the game between Barcelona and Liverpool? Barcelona came back from 3-0 to 4-3. So
Barcelona,
things can
PSG
happen
as well.
So let's wait and see and what's going to unfold on that second leg. It's going to be a very, very interesting game.
Evening, Ma. In regards to Bayern Munich and Manchester City, I don't think Bayern are gonna come back from this one. There's no way Manchester City is gonna go to Germany and not score goals. It's impossible.
If they score
Bayern
one,
will
it
give them their run
difficult.
for their money, but at the end of the day, Manchester City are gonna score because they are the favorites this year, like every year, you know. But this year they have Haaland, and we all know his numbers. So I think they're going all the way. And with their route, considering that they have to face Madrid, I feel like they are out to prove themselves.
So basically, if
Good evening.
If they are to win it, Manchester City, this is the year to do so. You feel if there is an opportunity, if there's a slither of chance that Real Madrid, or rather Manchester City, finally win it under Pep Guardiola, this is the year. I wonder.
Good evening. So you're from Pretoria. I'm glad the Marumo Gallant saga is, I'll put it in quotes, finally over. But then it's not over. I think it would have been fair to give the Libyan guy right of reply. Why am I saying so? It's because, one, they always say there are three sides to a story. Marumo Gallants, they'll always say their side of the story. They'll never tell you the truth. Because in the first place, he lied. Dr. Abraham, he lied. Blatantly lied and said he doesn't owe the security company. That's a lie. Number two, they blatantly lied that they weren't left as a collateral. They were left as a collateral. That's there for everyone to see. They were left as a collateral. So I think it would be only fair that you give the Libyan guy a right of reply. Thank you, Ma.
You know, this is a conversation that was ongoing even behind the scenes, because then the question is, when does it end? When does it end? Because he comes on and says, hey, because he's saying these guys are lying. I want my truth to be heard. But we've given him an opportunity. We've given them an opportunity. If we give him another one to say everybody's lying and to point fingers and to speak his truth, then we're back at a point where we need to give them their right to reply to and respond to what he said. So when does it end? When does it end? You know, if perhaps we had both parties yesterday, but he didn't want to come on yesterday because he had nothing to respond to yesterday. I just wonder, when does it end? You, and I said this yesterday, and Dr. Abraham Silo himself said this yesterday, to say, there's a lot we're saying, there's a lot of answers that are in between the lines here as well. You make up your mind as to what you believe from the questions and the answers that he gave and what you don't believe. And I think it was there for everyone to see, for everyone to hear, really.
Andile, Jimmy Maga, the busy corner of Motse, Andile, Manchester City, Talilepila, Mabane, what a game. The way Navatala as a team. But remember, Hore, Yaya Torre, Ukesi, Pep Guardiola, Arastuila win the UEFA Champions League, Marakizi, the way Batalangi, Wanagabata winner, Jimmy Maga, the busy corner of Motse, Dangima.
Evening, Miss Andile, yes, Pershon.
Oh, that's a repeat there. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that one there. And I saw the Yaya Toure thing. I mean, we know all of us, the conversation, or rather the disagreement and the not getting along of both Yaya Toure and Pep Guardiola that stems back way before Manchester City even. And he said about how he feels and how he feels African players have been treated there by the coach. And one wonders how much truth is in that. And one day when books are written, I remember Zlatan Ibrahimovic in his book, I Am Zlatan even, speaks about Pep Guardiola and his dislike for the coach there. So you make up your mind there as to how you feel and what you think of what's happening there. You said it to me just now to say there's always three sides to a story, yours, mine, and the truth. So Pep's not come out and spoken about all these accusations that have been labelled against him with African players. Does he like them? Does he not want them? Are they not players that he'd like to see in his teams? You make up your mind on that. When we come back, we'll wrap it all up. Faith is up next, and she's got a minister coming in. Hey, that show, it's minister after minister. By the time the year is done, every minister would have come into this building. So there's another minister, I'm not sure which one. She'll tell us in more detail when she does come in. That's top of the hour, 7 o'clock, all the way to 9 o'clock. Seeing your voice notes, we're going to be taking them in just a bit. Faith is in the building, so let's take a break. When we come back, we go to her.
The Metro FM Music Award tickets are now available at CompuTicket and all CompuTicket outlets. Get yours now and be there to experience South Africa's biggest awards ceremony at Mbombela Stadium on the 6th of May. Tickets start from 150 rands. The Metro FM Music Awards 2023, brought to you by the Mpumalanga Provincial Government. Visit and explore Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. MMA 23, Black is back.
Don't touch that dial. It's now a different playing field. Metro FM. Hottest hit in the streets.
Yeah, we gon' get 'em.
Get connected. WhatsApp the Metro FM studio. 060-552-7303.
Good evening, Andile, your team, and my fellow listeners. I personally think that it's only fair for you to offer the Libyan guys a right of reply, because for me as well, there are still so many unanswered stories, especially after listening to yesterday's interview from our counterpart, Bim Marumo Gallants. So it's only fair. I don't think, without painting a picture or blaming the blame on our side or on my fellow South Africans, there's something that I feel like they're not telling us here. Live and direct from Ekurhuleni, Lisiwe.
Faith, when do you know when to stop?
I never stop. I keep going. What do you mean? First, I'm so sorry. Let me bring myself back. I'm sorry. It's just you laid the foundation, and all I did was just jump in there.
No. We've been covering the Libyan story with the two Marumo Gallants employees that were stuck in Libya.
Yes,
we spoke to the hotel owner. And yesterday, obviously, we were celebrating in jubilation. The chairman came on of Marumo Gallants, the one member Rufus, who was stuck in Libya, came on to speak of their horrors while they were there. The hotel owner, who's the man that was owed the money, then goes and listens to the show afterwards. He goes on metrofm.co.za, listens to the podcast and says, hey, such lies have been spewed in our name.
What?
We're not going to stand for it. But I'm like, we spoke to him before. He said his piece. They said their piece. He said his piece. And then they came and said their piece yesterday. Now he's saying, no, I want my right of reply because what they said yesterday. When do you stop?
I think, are the boys home yet?
They are home.
Okay. I think that's when we stop. When we know that they are safe, when we know that they are home, when we know that they're on South African soil. What happens afterwards, it does not matter, because the truth of the matter is, you know how it is when it comes to two sides of a story.
Yep.
There's your version, there's my version, and then there's the truth.
Even if you feel like there are some unsaid truths or 100%. Some untruths from our guys, but let's just be happy they're here. Let's move on from it.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. But there's heavy security outside. What's going on?
Never a dull moment here on Metro FM Talk, I must tell you. So we've got a minister in the building. Yet another one. We've got Minister Lindy Wezulu. She's going to be joining us, Social Development Minister. We're going to be talking all things about social development, and more than anything else, Andile, remember, about 29 South Africans, according to President Cyril Ramaphosa, are on some kind of a social grant. We've got about 11 million South Africans Africans that are on your normal kind of grant, and then you've got about another additional, is it 18 or something or so South Africans that are on the COVID-19 relief grant, right?
350.
There we go.
350,
Give 350, right? So then the big question becomes, how sustainable is it over a duration of time? We are the only African country where we've got that many Africans actually on a grant. So we're going to be looking at all things politics, all things social development, and more than anything else, this is the conversation of the people. If you've got a question, especially when it comes to grants, if you've got a question for the minister, please be sure to engage with us. It doesn't happen without you. And then we also have the former vice chancellor.
The coolest vice chancellor.
The coolest vice chancellor I think UCT has ever had. Professor Mamuketi Pakeng is in the building as well.
Ooh.
So she's with us this evening. Look at that. I say that and everybody smiles.
Yeah,
yes, she is the coolest vice chancellor, I must say. So she's going to be with us in the studio. We're going to be talking a little bit about what transpired at UCT, but more than anything else, her legacy. What would she like to be remembered for? And what are some of the, because I think what we do is we get lost within the politics, but what are some of the eventualities and the happenings of UCT so that we know what to know, and we know that when we read even what happened in the media, we read it with an understanding from a first-hand account. Because again, there's my version, there's your version, and then there's the truth. So that's what we're going to be soliciting. And then after 8 o'clock, we're going to be looking at what is the role of black civil organizations in the country. In other words, the black associations, such as the Black Lawyers Association, the BMF, the Black Business Council. They are all black. What is their role, and how do they serve corporate as well as business South Africa? That's what we're going to be unpacking with all of them.
That should be interesting, because I often wonder about them. I often wonder about their place in society. I often wonder when I look at, how it is so difficult in business for young black people. How do they represent young black people, and are they accessible to young black people? So I'd love to hear the answers on that one there. I can't wait for it. It's exactly a minute after the hour 7. We now hand it over to the best team when it comes to talk right here on Metro FM every single day between 7 and 9 o'clock. From myself and my entire team, Timmy, not very happy with us for not taking that Libyan call. But hey, Pella, Ngansomi.